In math today, we are working on the skill of finding the area of a rectangle using the side lengths. We have learned two ways to find the area of a shape. You can count the square units inside, or you can multiply the side lengths. L times W. You can multiply to find the space inside, called the area. Today we're going to begin by watching a video, learning about how to find the area of a rectangle. Make sure you're sitting up, focusing just like you would in class, and listening to our instruction.
How can you find the area of a figure? Mike wants to paint a wall in his room. A small can of paint covers 40 square feet. Does Mike need more than one small can to paint a rectangular wall of his room? To find out, we need to know the area of the wall in Mike's room. One way is to count the square units to find area. Each square unit represents 1 square foot. There are 48 square units. The area of Mike's wall is 48 square feet. Another way is to count the number of rows and multiply by the number of squares in each row. How many rows are there? How many squares in each row?
Select your answer.
Okay, so we can look at the sides. We can count the rows. I'm going to mark them as I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. And I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. So we need to select the one that says 8 rows, 6 squares in each.
There are 8 rows and 6 squares in each row. Multiply to find the area of the wall. 8 times 6 equals 48. The area of Mike's wall is 48 square feet. Will Mike need more than one small can of paint?
Select your answer.
If Mike has 40 square feet inside his paint jar, but we know there's 48 square feet on his wall, 48 is greater than 40. So we know that he needs more than one can of paint. We can select yes, he needs more because he has 48 square feet to cover.
Yes, he will need more than one small can of paint.
Now you know different ways to find the area of a figure.
All right, today, boys and girls, we are going to show our knowledge of finding the area of rectangles by multiplying the side lengths. Sometimes there are squares inside where we can count, sometimes there are not. So we can use the second way of multiplying the side lengths, length times width. You will click on Activities, Assign to Class folder, Blue Math. And today our seesaw task is called Area Lesson 6-4 of Squares and Rectangles. Please find your task now. We are going to work together on these slides, so you need to stay with the class, focus on the lesson with the teacher so that you can learn as much as you can today. We are going to start on slide 2. Slide 2 gives us a word problem that we might see in real life where we need to use the area to help somebody out. Slide 2 says, Jorge is carpeting a square room. On one side of the room is 6 meters long. How many square meters of carpet does Jorge need? Solve this problem any way you choose. So first, I'm going to identify some important information. I see that his room is square, and we've got a model right here drawn for us. One side of the room is 6 meters long. I see they already put that on my model. One side is 6 meters long. I'm wondering, how long is the other side of the room? Well, I need to use my background knowledge about squares to help me. Jorge's room is a square. I know that with a square, the side lengths are equal. So if one side is 6 meters long, all the sides are 6 meters long. So I can go ahead and label this side 6 meters, just like the top. Now I have a length and a width. Now I can start thinking about my question. My question asks, how many square meters of carpet does Jorge need? He needs to cover his room with carpet. He needs to know how many square meters of carpet he needs. I'm going to send you to a breakout room. You're going to talk about slide 2 and share with your group how many square meters of carpet does Jorge need. We have had a chance to talk in our breakout rooms about how much carpet Jorge needs to cover his square floor. I don't see squares for me to count, so I need to use the second way of finding area. We know that to find the area, you can multiply the length times the width, L times W. So one side is 6 meters. The other side is 6 meters. So 6 times 6, I know that Jorge needs 36 square meters. Don't forget, when we talk about area, we have to use this vocabulary. We say square meters because if you drew out squares, there would be 36 little squares inside. Jorge needs 36 square meters to fill up his room with carpet. Check that you have 36 square meters recorded, just like Mrs. Rinalé. If I write it, you write it when we do a lesson together. On slide 3, we have an example page that you can go back to and look at it. This is from the video that we watched earlier. Mike was painting a room in his house.
Do you want to reset my computer?
Yes, you may, Kaylee. Thank you. He's painting a room in his house, and he has to find the area of the wall to see how much paint he needs. We see that he has a wall that is 8 feet long and 6 feet long. To find the area, he can multiply 8 times 6 to see that there are 48 square units inside. 48 square units of paint that he needs. We went over this when we watched the video together. Go ahead and click on slide 4, please. On slide 4, we're going to work through these problems together as part of our lesson. You should be only on slide 4 working with me so that you're focused on instruction. Let's start with problem number 1. Problem number 1 says Suji's garden is 4 yards long and 4 yards wide. What is the area of Suji's garden? So I'm going to draw a model to the side here of Suji's garden. And I'm going to find my important information in my text. It says it's 4 yards long and 4 yards wide. And I can label my model. 4 yards. YD is what we put for yards. And 4 yards. Now I have a model that matches my word problem. My question asks, what is the area of Suji's garden? I'm looking for the area, the space inside her garden. How big is it inside the garden? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So I know that if there are not square units inside for me to count, I can multiply length times width. I can multiply length times width. I have my length and width in my model. 4 yards long, 4 yards wide. So we can multiply 4 times 4, and we can find the product, which will give us the square units inside. I know my multiplication facts. I know that 4 times 4 gives me 16. But I'm not just talking about multiplication. I'm using multiplication to find the area inside the shape. So 16 what? I need to write square units. I'm going to type it right here. 16 square units. My problem told me I was measuring in yards. Yards is my unit. So 16 square yards. I have just done number 1 to complete Suji's garden. Her garden is 16 square yards. Let's take a look at number 2. The area of Michi's garden is 32 square feet. The garden is 8 feet long. How wide is Michi's garden? So this time they gave us a model. I can see the model right there. They told me it's 32 square feet in the area. This is some important information right here. So this time, I don't need to find the area. They just told me the area. So I'm going to write it on my model. Inside is 32 square. I can write SQ for square. That's how mathematicians do it. Square feet. So Michi knows the area of his garden. Next, it says the garden is 8 feet long. Did they show me that on my model? Let's check. Yes, they did. They showed me this side is 8 feet long. It's right there. Okay, let's keep going. Now my question. Here's my question. How wide is Michi's garden? How wide is Michi's garden? Let's see, did they show on the model? They put a question mark. How wide is it? How can we figure this out? First, I should check to see if there's squares for me to count, because that's one way to find area. I don't see squares for me to count. Plus, I already know there's 32 square feet inside. How can I find the width? I also know that to find the area, I can multiply length times width. I know that equals area. So let's see. They told me the garden is 8 feet long. That's my length. The garden is 8 feet long. I know my length. So 8 times, do I know my width? My question says, how wide is it? So I don't know my width. I'm going to put a blank. And do I know the area? I do know the area. They told me in the text. The area of Mitchie's garden is 32 square feet. Okay, so the area, the product is 32. So now I have an equation. 8 times blank equals 32 square units inside. This is where I really need my multiplication facts. 8 times blank equals 32. Who has it? Who knows what our width would be in our equation? 8 times blank equals 32. Who has the width? Landon, go ahead.
8 times 4 equals 32.
Oh my gosh, great work. 8 times 4 equals 32. So if Michi's garden is 8 feet long, that means his garden has to be 4 feet wide. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on my model here to fill it in, just so I remember. It's 4 feet wide and 8 feet long. Great job. Awesome. Great work. Next, we're going to look at slide number 6. It looks like this. Here you have 3 problems to find in your breakout room. I'm going to invite you to breakout room, and I'm going to give you 5 minutes to work with your group. I would like for you to try all of them. Try all 3. Do number 5, number 6, and number 7. Try them now, and then we're going to share out answers together. Are you ready? Here we go. Who has the area for number 5? A width of 1, a length of 3. Who has the area? Jillian.
3.
3 what? Pokemon cards?
3 anything, like 3 strawberries.
3 square. We can write this for short. 3 square, what's our unit? It looks like centimeters. 3 square centimeters. Good job. Check your work. For number 5, do you have this written down? 3 square centimeters. Check your work. Let's check on number 6. We have a length of 9 feet, a width of 4 feet. Who has the area of this rectangle? Day, go ahead. Awesome. 9 times 4 is 6. And we say square unit. Perfect, Day. We say square. In our units, the name is feet. square feet inside this shape. Great job. Check. Do you have the correct answer for number 6? 36 what? Soccer balls? No, 36 square feet. They told us they measured it in feet. Good. I see Nick is with me. Awesome. Now, number 7, boys and girls, I kind of tricked you. Number 7, I kind of tricked you. I asked you to find the area, but I forgot on this one. They told us the area. On number 7, they tell us that there are 35 square inches inside the rectangle. Then they tell us that the length is 7. So what we needed to do was actually have a conversation about what's the width. So I'm going to record it. I see that the area is 35 square inches. So my length is 7. I don't know my width. That's my question. How wide is it? Who can find the width? 7 groups of blank equals 35 square inches. Who's got that width? Who knows our missing factor? Seven groups of blank. Who's got it? I see some chats. Well, no one shared it in the chat. Jillian again? Jillian is on a roll today. Jillian, what would be the missing number? Go ahead. 5. 7 times 5 equals 35. So the width is 5 inches. Awesome. Man, Jillian did 2 share outs today. Crushing it. Starting on slide number 9, it says this is your independent work for a grade. You have to complete slides 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 is your reflection on your success today. Your job is to work independently and find the area using your knowledge of length times width. That is your job today. Make sure you are checking carefully. There might be some problems that try to trick you. You might have to find the missing side length like we practiced today. So read the directions carefully. Use your knowledge of length times width. Do your absolute best to solve these. You have slides 10, 11, 12, and 13 to do on your own. When you're done, push the green check to turn it in to me. I'll check it and see if I need to send it back. Make sure you're being responsible with your time. After your work time, at 1:35, you have PE with Mr. Beatty. And then I'll see you back here at 2:20 for some fun. Okay, it's that time to get started.
Have a good day.
You may get going.